Hello, it's John Heaton. I'm going to continue my discussion on Beatles B-sides, and I'm going to continue with the George Harrison B-side, The Inner Light. So this is a reissue from the 90s, I think, or 80s. Picture disc, quite nice. Not released as in a picture sleeve at the time. And thank you to the person who commented on my previous video to tell me that the only Beatles songs released in a picture disc originally in the 60s were Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, the first 250,000 copies, and Let It Be. So that's interesting. All the retrospective releases had picture discs, but the EPs, which was a 4-track concept, they all had picture discs like this. Sorry, picture covers. EPs, a thing of the past completely. In fact, they died out more or less in the 60s. I think Mystery Tour was about the last one I can remember being released, and that was a kind of extended EP, a double EP if you like. So this Inner Light, B-side of Lady Madonna, released on the 15th of March 1968. Now it's quite interesting that at the time of the record's release, the Beatles were actually in Rishikesh with the Maharishi. And the instrumental track to The Inner Light had already been recorded in Bombay with Indian musicians. The same sessions as produced the Wonderwall album for the movie of the same name, Wonderwall Music. It was the name of the album. I'm not the biggest fan of George's Indian period, but I can see it plays a role, and it certainly fits in with where the Beatles were spiritually at that time. They'd kind of was searching for the answer, and they'd been through LSD, and they were looking for other means of fulfillment, and they tried the Maharishi for a while around this time. And although George never lost faith with the Maharishi, as we all know, John and the others kind of came home and used meditation sporadically, but were not close followers of him after that little period in '68. And John obviously wrote Sexy Sadie about the Maharishi, but I'm getting off the point a bit. This song the words were inspired by a poem. In fact, George didn't really write. He added a few lines to this poem he was sent, an Indian poem. I forget who did it, who wrote it. But he just added a couple of lines to make it longer, and put a tune to it, and recorded it with, as I say, with the Indian musicians. And Paul McCartney is on record as saying, "Forget the Indian music, just listen to the tune. It's really lovely." So, which is quite a rare thing for him to compliment George. As I say, I'm not a huge fan of George's Indian stuff. I think Within You Without You was easily the best in that genre from George. And in terms of a song with a similar spiritual message on Material World, there's a track called Be Here Now, which is kind of saying the same kind of thing as this song, but I think it's more successful. And George actually wrote the words to that song, and it's one of the best cuts on Material World. So The Inner Light was performed at the Concert for George by Jeff Lynne. A lot of people, I suppose, like this song, and I'm going to upset a few people when I say out of the 12 B-sides that I'm talking about in these discussions, this Inner Light's probably my least favourite, so I'm going to put it number 12. Yeah, something had to go bottom. It's not that I hate the song. I don't reach to play it very often. It's kind of one of those songs which is kind of lost as a B-side, and even seems a bit out of place on the compilations it's appeared on over the years, and never appeared on any compilations of George Harrison's in terms of best of or anything like that. So yeah, not my favourite, but interesting that it's, he was allowed it was his first B-side. He was allowed it because of the influence he'd had on the others, introducing them to the Maharishi, The A-side, Lady Madonna, is far superior as a song, as a performance, in my opinion. The Inner Light doesn't actually feature more than one Beatle on it. I think maybe John and Paul singing a bit of harmony vocal, but George's vocal is about the only... I don't think he's even playing guitar on this track. So it's not very Beatle-y, should we say. And that's probably the reason I put it as as number 12 on the list. So thank you for watching. See you next time.